I am also sorry for not interviewing anyone for a long time. But I'm back now with a guest. Guess who? Mr. and Mrs. Laygo are a married deaf couple who communicate with sign language and share a deep bond. And now, we're on the third episode of Definitely Beautiful Conversations. Our guest for today is a deaf married couple.
I'm Marky.
And I'm Jessica.
Are you guys ready?
Are you nervous? Are you ready?
I'm fine.
I'd like to thank you for accepting my invitation for this video. I bet our viewers are wondering what it feels like to be a couple. Can you tell us about yourself first?
Me first? Ladies first.
I used to live in Cavite, near my elementary school, and later attended high school in PSD. Before going to the College of St. Benilde, I graduated successfully and then got a job. But due to pandemic, the government couldn't afford to pay, so I resigned. I found another way forward with my father's help in the business, and I also volunteered to teach Filipino Sign Language outdoors.
I studied elementary in Cavite just like her. I moved to study at PSD because there were all deaf students like me, and I didn't like being in a class with hearing classmates in Cavite school. After that, I was the only one in class for special math tutoring. Before I graduated, then I continued my studies at PSD and went to the College of St. Benilde. Now, I've been working for 15 years with different companies, and I currently hold different positions. I think I have 3 jobs right now. I had a government job for about 7 or 3 years, and my freelance work is one of them.
What kind of job do you both have?
Deaf and Terp Corporation. They hired us, and we appreciate them. But it's not a full-time position.
How did you both meet?
I met her for the first time in elementary,
While very young.
actually on the first day of school. I entered the room, saw her, and asked, "Why is she crying?" It was because her mom had left. I waited and kept looking at her, thinking she was shining, which made me admire her. But honestly, I was shy at first. Later, I teased her a lot.
Yes, it's true. He bullied me until I grew up. But I was very shy, and one thing I never mentioned is that I had a crush on him. I couldn't even confess my feelings to him. I kept it a secret to myself.
Okay, why did you have a crush on him?
Because he always teased me. It made my heart grow, and I ended up falling in love.
How long have you been together? And how long have you been married?
We were in a relationship for 3 years, then married for 7 years. We've been together for 10 years.
How did your relationship develop after you first met?
She transferred to another school, which really frustrated me. I was about to start courting her, but I never got the chance. I'm still waiting for her. I asked where she is. I called her by her old sign name. It's her first sign name. So, I asked her cousin, who is also deaf. I asked, "Where is Jessica?" Her cousin told me, "I'm sorry, she moved to another school because of the social environment." I was like, "Okay, all right." I'm patiently waiting for her and still thinking about her name. Later, I visited PSD again and was surprised to see Jessica back. I asked, "Why did you come back?" And she just got shy and hid from me. I was excited to talk to her. So, I asked, "Wait, am I right that your friend is gay?"
Yes, that's my friend.
I said if I could get Jessica's number, and then we started texting each other.
Oh right, back then, there was no technology.
Yes, we just used phones to text. It was good for us to talk. She said I'm bad at grammar and that she's shy, but I told her not to worry. I can understand because I learned about grammar at PSD. Maybe we'll get used to texting each other. But eventually it stopped. I'm sad that it ended like that.
What happened?
Tell them what happened.
What happened was, back elementary, he texted me, and I was excited to reply. But later, his friends warned me. I didn't know. They told me I shouldn't talk to him. Okay, so I stopped and ignored his messages.
Later, she was having class and the teacher mentioned my name and said my design was beautiful, which made her suddenly remember my name.
Yes, I remember that.
How did you feel when you remembered his name?
I remember texting each other and still think about our time at school.
Do you want to go back?
Yes, I miss it.
I'm so killing for both of you. With today's technology, social media makes it easy for everyone to connect so. How does sign language make communication easier for you?
We're both deaf, so communication is easier for us.
What's the hardest part of being in a relationship as a deaf couple?
I think being a deaf couple is fine, but marriage is a different thing. The main issue is the lack of communication. We both tend to be close-minded at times, which makes it hard to accept each other.
How did you guys solve it?
I'm not perfect, but I try my best. When my wife is angry, I find it hard to talk to her. She tends to yell and interrupt, which makes it difficult for me to explain my side. It feels impossible to have a conversation when she's so upset so. I've realized that she's more emotional in these moments, while I, being male, can control my emotions and think logically. Because of that, I usually have to wait a few days for her to calm down before we can have a proper conversation.
That's true. When he talks too much, his words can be harsh, which hurts me and makes me feel the need to defend myself, causing me to get angrier. We end up arguing, so he decides to stop talking. I've been trying to solve my emotions by reading books, watching videos, and etc. So relaxing.
How do you feel when he understands and waits for you to calm down? Do you appreciate him?
Yes, I do.
Hey, I can tip you. One thing that helps is giving her ice cream.
Yes, I like it.
One thing I think the viewers are dying to know. How does a deaf couple fight?
I've seen deaf couples fight, and I think it's often due to social problems. It's common that they struggle with communication and lack understanding. They refuse to accept each other because they want to be understood or are being selfish. It's better to calm down before trying to talk.
Can you show us how you act when you fight so the viewers will know?
Wow, he's acting ready. It's scary.
Hey, why did you lose our money? How will we pay the debts? What are you going to do? Tell me,
Sorry, I don't know.
what are you sorry for?
Figure out another way to pay it yourself. How about borrow money from anyone, then pay it back?
Borrow money. You know, it's shameful to ask them. Huh,
Crowd? For what?
they'll ask why I'm borrowing if I have a good job.
Do you care about what people think?
Wow, you guys are really good at acting. Growing up, did you live with other deaf people?
We both don't.
What changed now that you are living with a deaf person?
I live with my wife, and I feel good about the responsibility of everything I do. My family asked, "How can both of you be deaf? Can you talk to the neighbors?" I said, "Mom, stop worrying. I can handle everything in our house. Because I'm used to it. I always go out in our area." I told my mom to remember when she used to give me a list of vegetables. I would go to the market, show the seller the list on paper, and get the items. Then I would show my mom the vegetables. So she started to believe in me. And as for my wife, that's her weakness. But I can help her with everything she needs. She prefers cooking while ordering me to buy the food. Funny how things change. My mom used to order me. Now it's my wife does. Wow.
So I depend on my husband to buy things.
Wow, you're a Superman husband.
Yes, I'm always the superhero for my wife.
Did you ever get challenged by family or friends who talk about your relationship?
A long time ago, I asked my family if I could have a sweetheart who was a hearing guy. They said, no, and I asked, why? They said that maybe a hearing person could betray me, and that it would be better to have a deaf sweetheart. I accepted, and later I met Markiel. My parents were happy, however. I didn't know that his family questioned why he would want a deaf girl. That offended me. His family wanted him to have a hearing girlfriend. But my husband defended me. We fought to prove our love, and eventually, my parents encouraged me to move out with him. His family told not to move out because they thought we couldn't manage, but we proved them wrong when we moved in together and rented a house. Nothing bad happened for us. And his parents were speechless, allowing us to live together.
My dad is okay and trusts me, but my mom doesn't. I told them not to worry, and later, my parents allowed me to because they believe in me.
Can you give advice to parents who have a deaf child and might worrying about their future living together as a couple?
If you're a parent with a deaf child who grows up and wants to marry their dream partner, you should respect their decision. If you don't fully trust your child, but they have a job, please encourage them to experience new opportunities.
Have you ever had a hearing girlfriend or boyfriend?
I don't have one.
I tried and chased after a hearing girl. But communication was limited. It's true. She learned sign language and we tried to talk. But she kept pausing and saying, "Wait, I forgot." I was like, "All right." I learned to handle limited conversation. I liked her, but the communication was limited, even though I liked her personality. So first, there was limited communication. Second, there was a lack of trust between us. What if she tries to avoid me and I don't know? Third, there were barriers, and it felt like we were stuck. That's when I decided to prefer a deaf girl, but people doubted deaf couples. I believe we can make it work.
Do you have any children, or are you planning to have one in the future?
We're planning to. First, after we got married, we tried to have a child, but I had a miscarriage. So, I went to the doctor for checkups daily. I hope that one day we will be able to have a child.
Which would you prefer, hearing or deaf at birth?
I like both. If the child is deaf, that's good because of my experience living as a deaf person. I will teach the child everything I know. Want them to have a better life than the difficult past I had.
Even the worst experiences can offer the opportunity to give someone a better life. Can you share some funny and unforgettable experience you had as a deaf couple?
Okay, I'll tell a story. In Quezon City, it's fine, but in Cavite, we're hopeless because when we're about to take a bath, The water pressure is slow, so what do? We play rock, paper, scissors, and the winner gets to take a bath first.
Who tends to win more?
We're tied, like a cycle. There's no winner 3 times in a row, just a tie.
I've never seen a couple play over water like that. Usually, the guy would let the girl get water first while he waits for his turn, but you guys are more competitive. Have you both had any surprising moments or experiences that made you appreciate your marriage even more?
She has such good intuition. I wrapped the gift, and then she suddenly knew what was inside. I was totally busted.
True, he's terrified of failing to surprise me.
I even told her, let's go somewhere, and she already knew where we were headed. And once again, I failed.
How did you know what he was planning?
Obviously, it's his behavior.
Next time, try harder.
Yes, I'll try my best again.
What would you say is the key to a successful, lasting marriage for deaf couples?
Patience is a must. Continue no matter what happens. Keep an open mind for communication. Admit when you're wrong instead of being defensive. And don't be selfish.
It's important for communication and understanding. We respect each other and should support the marriage.
Teamwork is important. For example, when my money isn't enough, my wife helps me. When I feel down, she supports me. It's about building each other up. If she refused to help, it could break the marriage.
That's why many couples divorce after failing to support each other.
We're trying our best,
Yes.
especially after the miscarriage we faced. I hope we will have success. It will take time, and patience is key. Even though I'm not perfect, I've tried my best to be patient.
Do you have any advice for those who dream of getting married and starting a family?
Many Filipinos are careless about pregnancy, even they're not married first. The problem is money. It's better to have a job and plan for your family's future, so you can be married before pregnancy. Second, educate yourself. If you marry someone quickly, it might end quickly. Imagine marrying a girl, then realizing she's different. If you notice mistakes, try to understand what the other person wants and likes, instead of focusing only on your own needs, without getting to know them first.
It's important to get to know each other. We share what we like, our values, and how we do things. Spending 1 to 3 years together helps build understanding and trust. After that time, you can decide if you're ready to marry.
True, don't rush into marriage when you're in a relationship. Just take it slow and let the process unfold. Okay, last thing, I asked the viewers to ask you questions. If both parents are deaf and the woman is about to give birth, how can they communicate with the doctor who doesn't know sign?
Most of the time, my mom knows the signs, so she can tell us what the doctor says. If my mom is busy, we can write it down or contact an interpreter so they can make time for us, so that we can do a video call.
My girlfriend is deaf and we've got a long-distance relationship. What do you think I could get her for Valentine?
Be prepared in advance. If it's a long-distance relationship, you can send gifts to her address to surprise her.
If you have a friend who lived near her, you can ask them to help surprise her.
Or you could send her a message. Girls love to read them. What's your favorite sign?
My favorites is shut up. Why shut up? Because he talks too much, so I tell him to shut up.
Again, this is definitely beautiful. with Mr. and Ms. Laygo. I forgot to give them the token. Happy Valentine's Day! I thank everyone who watched. I appreciate your support.